Lift Events and Experiences, known for Canada's #1 cannabis conference and trade shows, is hosting a full slate of events in 2023 and expanding to the U.S. And you're invited. Lift welcomes everyone from legacy participants to multi-state operators to everyday folks who enjoy and respect the plant. Join us in lifting the cannabis community together January 12th through the 14th in Vancouver, then Toronto in June, and San Francisco in August. Visit liftevents.com for details. That's liftevents.com.
Slaying sugar, and we have a product that helps with sugar absorption and sugar craving. So it's just been amazing to figure out new ideas, thinking outside of the box, and understanding how best to leverage, whether it's paid or whether it's organic, being in the masterminds and surrounding yourself with brilliant people and entrepreneurs, bouncing ideas off of each other, and just solving the problem to figure out how best to get that 1.2. And once you hit that 1.2 return, then you just crank it out.
Welcome to the Miracle Plant Podcast, the show that inspires, promotes, and gives you a daily dose of inspiration from the people who have used cannabis to change their lives in extraordinary ways. Here's your host, Justin Benton.
Thanks for swinging by the Miracle Plant Podcast. Well, this is a very, very special episode. This is actually, I was on ClickFunnels Radio, hosted by the CEO of ClickFunnels, Dave Woodward. And unfortunately, after a 18-month battle with brain cancer, Dave is no longer with us. And actually, I'll be flying out to Boise to have a celebration of life on his birthday, December 16th, in Boise, Idaho, with the ClickFunnels family and community. But I wanted to play this amazing podcast episode that I got to be on his podcast. So I thought, what a great tribute to have ClickFunnels Radio with Dave Woodward, just an amazing guy, positive, happy, go-getter. He started out, just serving Russell Brunson and being the get-it-done type person and working at a booth and at the events. And then all of a sudden he was working with the affiliates in charge of all the ClickFunnels, raising over $100 million in sales through affiliate work. And then he was promoted to the CRO, which was the Chief Revenue Officer. And then finally, he was actually promoted to the CEO of a $1 billion company valuation of ClickFunnels. Just the best guy, the nicest guy. And he was open with his journey and his family, and just a beautiful family, and on Facebook Lives and giving us updates and hope. And it was just such a beautiful man, beautiful example for all of us. And so I'm just honored that I got to be on his show, and I wanted to replay it here, and honored I got a chance to meet him and hang out and get to know him, and what a great guy. So here's to Dave Woodward. Enjoy this ClickFunnels Radio podcast here on the Miracle Plant Podcast.
Welcome to ClickFunnels Radio, where we go behind the scenes and uncover the tactics and strategies top entrepreneurs are using to make more sales, dominate their markets, and how you can get those same results. Here's your host, Dave Woodward.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to ClickFunnels Radio. This is a fun day. I have the opportunity of meeting a new friend who I'm so excited to introduce you guys to. So, Justin Benton, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm on ClickFunnels Radio.
The best part is we actually had the opportunity of meeting face-to-face last week here in Boise. He is one of our members of the Inner Circle, and I am so excited to have him here. He's got a ton of amazing things that he's doing, obviously for his own family, but most importantly for other people as well. And so with that, I think we'll just dive right into this. So, Justin, if you don't mind, give people a little background on how you got to where you're at.
Yeah, well, thanks. And again, thanks for having me. And it was great meeting you in person. And first and foremost, the ClickFunnels Radio podcast, I'm an avid listener to. And so it's so cool to be on this podcast. And as we were, my story was, I've been in sales and marketing my whole professional career, and I've had a lot of success. And life was great. And all of a sudden our second child was born, our son, and he was a healthy, happy kid. And then all of a sudden he kind of went into his own little, cocoon. And, sometimes the dads are like, oh, we're in denial. It's just a phase. But my wife got a diagnosis and there was something wrong. He was diagnosed with severe autism. And so your whole world just stops when you get a diagnosis like that, as I know you can relate to with what you've been going through and what you think your priorities are, your day to day and things like that. Everything just stops and all of your energy and focus goes on to either healing yourself or healing your loved one. In this case, it was our son. And, there wasn't a lot of hope back then about what you should do with autism. It was kind of something where you were just supposed to cope. And so we started doing a lot of research. I made it my mission to figure out how I could help my son get his, health back. And so we traveled the world. We did a lot of research. We figured out about how important, diet is, and food is our medicine, and your microbiome and your immune system in your gut. And we were making some progress, but I didn't have him all the way back to where he was before. And so we continued to look. And then I came across some research from a Dr. William Courtney, who was actually on my podcast this morning, who found out that, believe it or not, juicing hemp or cannabis, whatever you want to call it, was helping cure people with cancer. And that was the kind of research and the twinkle in my eye that I needed to go down that path. So I made real simple hemp juice, if you will, for my son, gave it to him at a pumpkin patch one day when he was having a tantrum. That was our aha moment. He snapped out of it in 2 minutes. And now we're here to pay it forward because my son's no longer considered on the spectrum or autistic. And we just started a little .org to help other companies, or not other companies, but other families just be exposed to our story and our products. And then things really just kept going and going. In 2018, they passed a farm bill. So everybody in the world is coming to find us out here on the 101 in Southern California. But then March 2020 hit, and that's when the world stopped spinning for us. And that's when I found the ClickFunnels community, because we have retail stores and we work with chiropractors and wholesalers and formulators. Well, that all went away and everyone started shopping online. And so we needed to become the masters of e-commerce and online selling. And by the grace of God and a good friend of mine, Joe Soto, helped guide me into the ClickFunnels community. And it has been nothing but a blessing ever since.
Oh, man, I love it. It's, again, so great seeing you. There's something I love more than anything else about our business, and that is it's the personal connections. And I think that's the cool thing about whatever your product or your service, for those guys who are listening going, well, it doesn't really hit me or doesn't matter. I can tell you it really does, especially these days. People buy products and services from people they know, or they get to know their stories. And I love hearing the different stories and things in your business. And literally, thousands of people who you've helped going through whatever it might be to get there. I know on your podcast, what's the link to your podcast? People are going to might as well talk about. Yeah,
just go check out. It's Miracle Plant Podcast. So Miracle Plant. Go to Apple or wherever you listen to your podcast and search it out. And I know that there's an episode that I recorded this morning that'll release next Tuesday that is really focusing on the science of how raw cannabis, just like juicing celery or juicing kale, really helps our body fight off, cancer, and certainly deal with, the side effects that come from treatments and things like that, the nausea or the sleeplessness or the pain and things like that. But yeah, so I can't wait for you to hear that episode. And I know so many of us are praying for you and pulling for you. And, I'm so excited to hear some positive news coming down the road.
I look forward to that as well. Well, tell me, how do you actually scale and grow and build a business? Again, obviously you've been using ClickFunnels, and for those people who are listening going, well, gosh, he's got these products and they're physical products. And, a lot of people think, oh, it's easier to sell digital stuff. How are you actually selling physical products using ClickFunnels?
Well, again, it was really learning the fundamentals of marketing. I mean, so many people think of ClickFunnels and they think of software, or they think of a web page builder or a landing page builder, when it's so much more than that. I mean, the teachings that Russell has learned over his decades of experience with marketing, and he always edifies and gives credit to the Dan Kennedys of the world that have helped shape his mind and help him really understand, getting that, taking it from a website to a funnel, as we've all, all of us in this community know about. And so that was all new to me. I didn't know what a hook product was. I certainly didn't know what free plus shipping meant. I had heard of ad copy, but that was mostly on like the TV show Mad Men. And so all of these concepts were foreign to me because I had been mostly in the B2B community. And so shifting to a B2C community and really trying to serve that audience and best understand how people shopped and what made them click and things like that. That was the mind-blowing. I mean, I've gone down quite a few different rabbit holes in my day. And I have never gone down a rabbit hole like ClickFunnels and Russell as far as just the depth and the teaching. And it just keeps going. And it's like, well, how much of a master do you want to be? And all the things that I've learned and applied. And actually, that's the thing, because there is so much that you can learn here at ClickFunnels and so much that you can learn, from Russell and yourself and all the marketing gurus down there in Boise. But it's about implementation, and it's about applying what you learned and just getting it done and executing. And when you do that, that's when you see the results. So, we have accountability groups and that I meet with. And fortunately for me, having success and seeing the brilliance of ClickFunnels and the teachings of Russell and everyone, I was able to be there at Funnel Hacking Live when they opened up Inner Circle 2.0, or as Robbie says, reloaded. And it was an absolute no-brainer that I knew that being in this inner circle, being close to entrepreneurs who are on fire, to borrow that from JLD, it was only going to take my business to heights that I could not do alone. And we've already started, hitting all these great Slack channels, and we just met in Boise, and that's where you and I got a chance to meet. And I'm just so excited to be a part of the community. And I encourage anybody that's stuck or just trying to figure out this online game, regardless of what you sell. I mean, it's really about the fundamentals. You just go to this place called .comsecrets.com, start with the first book, start reading the book, audio it if you do it. Apparently, if you do audio and read it at the same time, it's even more ingrained in your brain. And start there and start your journey and implement what you learn.
I appreciate that. Alex Hormozi talks about that all the time. Tell me, so when you look at scaling and building your business now, what are the things that are working? And for those people who are listening and going, well, I want to implement the stuff that, that Justin's doing. What would you recommend that actually, what are you doing that works for those people who are trying to do something like you?
Well, for us, it's about finding what does work right now. And so in the beginning of our organization, we had different channels that we were getting income. And so you find the channels that have the most opportunity. For us, we had retail. We still do. I'm actually talking to you from one of our retail stores in Ventura, California. So the retail space was always an interesting one. So if you can find something that works, then like the retail space before March 2020, we were looking to do franchises, right? So that's how you scale. You can go from 1, 2, 3, 4 stores to 1, 2, 300 stores if you work with the right experts, and I've got friends like Don Shin who can help you do that. Well, also as part of scaling is knowing when to put it on the front burner and the back burner. When March 2020 hit, there was no reason to be opening retail store, franchises. So then we had to look at other different revenue streams. And for me, it was so abundantly clear that if you wanted to scale your business in the time we're in right now, or have been for the last 18 months, it was you had to understand what was working online. And again, it really comes down to applying so many of those things that I've learned from, Russell and ClickFunnels, which is, how are other people generating traffic? Where is their traffic coming from? Like going to similarweb.com and understanding how are they getting their traffic and applying it. And then once you find something that works, that's when you just keep going to it over and over and over and over and over again. And I know Russell talks about, 1.2 ROAS is if that's a number you can hit, that's a number you can scale, return on investment for ad spend. And so
real quick, I'm going to have you explain to people what that is. What's 1.2 and ROAS?
So for 1.2 means if you spend $1, you're getting $1.20 back, right? So you're making at least 20% margin on your front end. So if your front end offer is making 1.2 or 120%, and you've got a value ladder behind it, you've got scalability behind it, you've got, courses, or you've got events, or you've got masterminds, or you've got whatever you got on the back end, at 1.2, that's the break-even number that you can start dumping your money in wherever those ads are producing that, whether it's paid ads, organic ads, native ads, finding out where that source is. And once you hit that magic number, you just go all in, right? if you know that you found an ATM machine that every time you put $1 in, it gives you $1.20, you find as many dollars as you can possibly find and shove it into that ATM machine, because it's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory at that point.
I love it. So give people some examples of what's working and how they can do the exact same thing. Because I think that 1.2 is a magic number, and I'd love to, any insights you can give to people who are listening to this would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. And so for us, we're selling natural supplements, and we're also selling, products that are called hemp or CBD. So it's really, really been hard for our business and our industry, because they really frown upon CBD for whatever reason, the Facebooks, the YouTubes, the Google. So that's been the real challenge, which has been, I've implemented and tried so many different things, but again, everyone kind of has that paid versus organic approach. Organic certainly will take longer, building up that organic reach, building up that SEO, blogging, doing those things that, and I think a big one for people that don't really talk much about as they should is really understanding and building up your SEO on YouTube. You can put keywords into your YouTube channel. You can name your files certain keywords. Really doing keyword research on your YouTube organic videos is a very, very, very powerful way that not a lot of people are doing to immediately start getting that free traffic that will just, it's evergreen, and it just gets more and more views and will always be there. So that's what we've had to do a lot of. We've had to get real creative, thanks to, the brilliant people that are associated with ClickFunnels and Inner Circle. We've been able to come up with things like driving people to a quiz instead of driving people to a landing page that sells supplements, and driving people to a Facebook page that's got a cartoon character that's about slaying sugar. And we have a product that helps with sugar absorption and sugar craving. So it's just been amazing to figure out new ideas, thinking outside of the box, and understanding how best to leverage, whether it's paid or whether it's organic, being in the masterminds and surrounding yourself with brilliant people and entrepreneurs, bouncing ideas off of each other, and just solving the problem to figure out how best to get that 1.2. And once you hit that 1.2 return, then you just crank it up.
So talk a little more about this idea as far as a quiz.
So for a quiz, they can be called quiz funnels, survey funnels, whatever you want to call them. So basically, you're driving people to a landing page. So whether it's a paid ad or an organic ad, you're driving people to a landing page that's going to ask questions about your customer. So whether you're selling a product or a server or a service, you're going to have them answer a series of questions that will help guide them to the solution for them. So, and usually there's what's called like a bucket question, which is kind of the one real main question that's going to decide whether or not this person gets this product or service offering, or whether or not they get this one. It just depends what products that you have. And so when you're driving people to that survey funnel, you're able to really kind of put people in different buckets and let them see offers that would be most applicable to them. And if you're in an industry that's overregulated or a little, gray area for the paid advertisers out there, it's a great way to drive traffic, to get their email addresses, and then do the follow-up funnels and send them offers that are specific to them.
I love it. Do you have any quizzes that you can think of off the top of your head?
Yeah, well, if you go to any of our websites, we call them solution finders. So, because we're always about finding solutions for the people. But yeah, if you went to like our website, 101hemp.org, you would see a big orange button on there at the bottom saying solution finder. Click on that, and you can kind of go through the quiz and see what health thing, pain, anxiety, sleep kind of stuff that you're looking for. But, and you can build all of this within ClickFunnels. There are survey funnels. If you don't know how to build a survey funnel, reach out to the customer support, and they will show you a cool little video on there of how you can build survey funnels within ClickFunnels. And I know we got ClickFunnels 2.0 coming out, so it'll probably build it for you and even cook your breakfast.
All right, so let's go through this quiz. So tell me the place I should go.
All right, so 101hemp.org. And when you scroll down, you should see an orange button that says, click here for our solution finder. So you go to the solution finder, and they say, what has been your experience with hemp or CBDA? And then they say, I've never used CBD before. I've tried it before once or twice. I've tried it a few times, different brands. I've been using it on and off for years. I've been using it consistently for years. So let's say for you, what would you say for that one, Dave, for you? Never used it? Tried it?
Never used it.
Never used it. All right, so we go to never. Then it asks, do you have any allergies or food sensitivities?
Nope.
All right. And then what is the main reason why you are considering CBD? It says aches and pains, stress, lack of energy, overall well-being, skin issues, or sleep issues.
Let's go with the first one.
All right, aches. And then it says, what is your ideal form of application? Would you like something that's a sublingual oil under your tongue, a topical application that you would rub on at home, or a topical application on the go?
Let's go with the last one, on the go.
All right, on the go. So when you click on that button, it will sit here and formulate and figure out what is the best solution for you. Then, of course, you have to put in your name and your email address to get your detailed report emailed to you. And when you get that detailed email report, you would be brought directly to the product page for our Raw Relief Roll-On, which is a roll-on that bunch of golfers right now. I'm actually flying to Phoenix next week to talk some endorsement deals with some professional golfers. It's a little roll-on that you roll on for like your elbow or your pain, and it just rubs right into your skin and works great.
Perfect. So what happens here is, for those guys you're listening here, understand that anytime you're looking at connecting with people who have hit your homepage or hit your survey or whatever it might be, the whole idea here is to find what are the things that you're trying to solve problems. That's what people want. They want to solve a problem. And as you start going through a survey like that, you're solving some problem to then help them get to the next level. And at the end of that, whatever your survey is, that's typically where the product is. I love the idea here that where you capture their email. So now you can continue to market to them on a regular basis. You then have a product or a service. And these work great, especially if you have a physical product that you're trying to sell. Because at that point, they want to solve, they've been going through, and I think it was 5 different survey questions.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the magic number, somewhere between 4 to 6, 4 to 7. 7 seems a little too far. But what I've seen and what works the best these days seems to be right in that 4 to 5 range, where people are like, okay, I don't want to give out too much information, but I do want to see where this goes. And so as you take a look at growing and using this type of a quiz to generate leads, give me an idea as far as how well it's working, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's been incredible, because it was funny in the beginning. We were experimenting with, do we put the email address up front and then they get the quiz, and then at the back? And by putting it at the back, they've already invested time and energy, and they really want to know their result. Like, what's the solution? So again, as Russell will say, all the number one focus is always building your email list. So when we were able to put it on the back of the quiz before they get the results, we tripled the number of emails that we were getting. So exponentially, that's going to be able to help us with our follow-up funnels. Another really exciting part about it is it literally sending them, they've invested their energy, they've thought, and it feels like it's a customized experience. And then we present the solution and the product that really is best suited for them. So they're going to get the best experience with the particular product that they've got. The other thing that we didn't get into the technicalities of, when you're driving that paid traffic, whether it's Google or Facebook or whoever, they only track to about a second or third click on wherever you send them to. So if your survey funnel has 3 or 4 different questions, and we saw 5 here, you're actually out of the scope. And so again, you're finding your clients, you're driving them to the funnel, and then you're separating them out to where they need to go to get their best offer. And you're potentially giving yourself an opportunity to get paid traffic if you're in a tough industry to advertise like we are. So it's kind of a win-win.
No, I think that's awesome, Justin. I think it's always crazy for me when I see a lot of people are trying to generate leads and just are always asking for the email up front. And when you ask for the email up too fast, you typically don't get real emails. And so I think it's amazing to me when you go through, again, 3 or 4 questions, by the time they've connected, they want the answer. I don't know your real numbers on this, but I can tell you from my personal experience, the quality of the lead increases a ton, because people are like, I really want to know the answer. And so I've already given you some of my information. I'll actually give you my real email. And that allows you then to generate a better relationship with that customer or the potential customer over time as well. So I don't know what your numbers are seeing, but at least that's what we've seen happen for sure.
Absolutely. And a real email that people actually check is exponentially better than a fake one that you check once every 6 months looking for a StubHub tickets that you accidentally put an old email address in. So yeah, it's been an absolute game changer. And like I said, that's why I can't say enough about people. You know, if you're at that part in your business and you really are looking to scale, my best advice for you would be to surround yourself with people that have already done it. And that, if that means joining a mastermind, if that means getting into a coaching program, we can only go so far, and we can't see our own blind spots. And I figure there's two ways that you can learn in this world. One is if you make a mistake and you pick yourself up and you learn from it. That's one way. The other way is to learn from other people's mistakes so you don't step in the same pitfall or pothole. And I personally would much rather not have to make the mistake and go through the pain and suffering to learn than rather learn from someone who's already done it before. So modeling, surrounding yourself with people that have already done it before or are going to push you. And as we all know, if the people, the closest 5 people that you're hanging around with, and you're the smartest one in the group, it's time to up level. It's time to go to the next level because you need to push yourself, especially if you have lofty goals like I know so many overachievers here on ClickFunnels Radios have. I
totally agree with you. I totally agree. Well, Justin, if people want to find out more about you, what would you recommend? Where should they go?
Well, as Russell has said before, podcasters listen to podcasts. So go to my podcast and check it out. It's called Miracle Plant Podcast. Go check it out. We have got great stories on there. We've got researchers, doctors, and accounts of real people telling their stories of how this miracle plant helped them with their health journey like it helped our son. And I'm just really honored to be on here, Dave. It's been a pleasure getting to know you. I look forward to getting to know you a lot more in upcoming meetings out there in Boise. And we're all praying for you. And I'm so excited to hear that, things are looking up.
Thank you so much, Justin. It's a pleasure. Again, look forward to seeing you again soon. And thank you so much for your time.
Well, I hope you learned a little about ClickFunnels and ClickFunnels, and that's what I've been doing. This is what I've been doing ever since March of 2020 is working in this ClickFunnels community with Dave and Russell Brunson and all these brilliant marketers that have taught me and the Miracle Plant how we can get our message out there and reach 1 billion people by 2025 in this new world that we live in, because now predominantly people shop online. And so I hope you learned something, and just such a beautiful man and just an amazing guy. And he shared his journey with all of us, and his faith was so strong and beautiful. And, he said, if I have to go through this brain cancer to bring people closer to Christ, then I'll do it. And he just had so much belief and faith and conviction. It inspired me. So I encourage you to look him up and listen to ClickFunnels Radio. And he did over 600 episodes on that podcast, and just a wonderful, wonderful guy. So again, I hope you learned something. And it is about this mission to heal the world and collaborate with these beautiful, wonderful people, whether we have great guests on our podcast or we go on other podcasts, and we just get it out there about our mission to heal the world and reach 1 billion people by 2025. So here's to you, Dave. Thank you for all you've taught and inspired me. And on the count of 3, everybody, let's say heal the world, because that's what we're doing. And this one goes out to you, Dave. 1, 2, 3. Heal the world!
Thanks for listening to today's show. To check out more great cannabis podcasts, go to PodConx.com. Here's a preview of one of our other shows.
Hi, I'm Gary, and I invite you to discover the Cannabis Podcast, a bi-weekly podcast focused on a Canadian's cannabis culture. I would be the Canadian, and my cannabis passion and culture has been building for 5 decades. I share that passion for this wonderful plant in every episode, through conversations with cannabis advocates and enthusiasts, stories about the ever-changing legal environment, and some hands-on testing of product in a segment I call Cultivar Corner. The Cannabis Podcast, a Canadian's cannabis culture, one toke at a time.